Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And the content that I'm going to show you today is reminiscent of a lot of things that we do earlier on in administrations. I'm going to show you how the media, through three different media organizations, are all organized in attempting to redirect the conversation from Trump being assassinated to Trump's evil rhetoric. Trump got assassinated or an attempt assassination, it's his fault. Don't listen to the rhetoric because now the rhetoric is bad. There is a reason that all three of these organizations that I'm about to show you in the media are honing in on this exact same message because it resonates. They are terrified that the very message, that the rhetoric that blew up all of this to make everyone hate Trump with such a level and determination to have two attempted assassination attempts, that strikes bad against the Democrats. That strikes bad against Harris. That makes her look bad. We can't have that. So we've got to blame Trump for calling out the rhetoric with his rhetoric. Everything I'm going to show you right now is linked in the description box below, but make no mistake, this is what's happening right now. I study these people. The media is an arm of the Democratic Party, and they're going in the same direction for a very specific reason, which we're about to explore. So, of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on, and whew, people, we're in the middle of a psyop. Complete honesty, this is literally a psyop. But you know what else is something important to talk about? Defend yourself, please. And if you're going to conceal carry and you're going to take the responsibility, make sure you're protected if you have a weaponized neighbor that likes to use red flag laws in blue states. If you have to defend yourself in a purple state or a blue state, like in Massachusetts, and you have a gun that's legal and you jump through the loops, or all the loops and hoops that we've already talked about, and you get arrested when you defend yourself, make sure USCCA is at least in your mind, so you at least know what you can get coverage from. You can get coverage for red flag laws, so when it's weaponized and you're the victim of a overzealous lefty blue hair, you can be defended from that. And once you get in a situation where you have to defend yourself, you got some coverage, you've got some representation, because you're not going to get arrested and screwed without at least a way to fight the system that is obviously going against you. There's a link in the description. Please just check it out so you know what your options are. It's not going to hurt you to understand at least where you can go from here. And thank you to them for making this content possible. All right, people, listen. We've got to talk about something that is mind-boggling. You guys know, if you've been with me for a while, I love looking at patterns and I love seeing that the media goes in lockstep on something because that means they are afraid of something. So let me just show you these three headlines. This is all about the Trump assassination. And then I'm going to show you some details, but I want to show you the continuity. This is from Politico. Trump called for unity after the first assassination attempt. Not this time. Here we go over to CNN. Trump pivots from second apparent assassination attempt to more incendiary claims. And here's some ABC. This is the third one. Trump says Biden-Harris rhetoric to blame for Florida assassination attempt. Trump told Fox News Digital the gunman acted on Biden and Harris rhetoric. Now, when you have Politico, CNN, and ABC all going along the same marching beat of the drum, you're over the target. Now, the reason I'm going to show you this stuff is because it resonates well with voters to make a sympathy plea for the fact that he is constantly being attacked and there's attempted assassinations on his life. There must be a reason. It's a very simple conclusion to draw. So the media's got to get out real quick and start changing the narrative. Let's get into this. So I told you the article. This is all from today. All three of these articles today. Donald Trump briefly followed the first attempt on his life with calls for unity. This time, he's going straight to a far more brazen message. Democrats' rhetoric put my life in danger. Honest to God, it did, it has, and it continues to. There has never been someone on this planet who has elicited more hatred with more of a moral pass from the media and the Democrats than Donald Trump. He listed out, and this is a big part of what they're saying, he listed out all the way, a little short list of all the times they've called for hatred, violence, rhetoric, and turning up the temperature. That's what they should have done, because it's damn correct. That's what this whole thing's about. They have to diffuse this, because when you put it in a big short list and say, here's all the times that they called for violence and rhetoric against me, and then it's happened twice, it's kind of hard not to draw that conclusion. Hence, three different sources on the exact same day, completely random, putting out the exact same thing. Guys, this is incredibly important because sympathy is what they're trying to avoid here. In an interview, social media posts and campaign messages in the first 24 hours after Secret Service opened fire on a suspected gunman hiding in the bushes around Trump's Florida golf club, the former president and his allies accused Democrats of spending years stoking threats and violence against the Republican nominee by labeling him a threat to democracy. They did, they continue to do so. Again, you're over the target when you get all three of these. It's a strategy Trump's advisors view as a way to hold Democrats accountable for rhetoric they argue, without evidence, has endangered the former president. I don't think that people are going to go, well, I heard it from Joe Scarborough for 10 years, so because Joe told me to, I'm going to go do this. That's not the way this works. If you get it out as a common nomenclature, it is a common language, it is a common societal acceptable norm to do ultimate hatred versus Trump, which is on the left side of the spectrum. Ultimate hatred all the time. For 10 years, a 20-year-old, an 18-year-old who's in high school right now, who's going to go to college, over half of their lives, they have been exposed to hatred of Donald Trump because he is Hitler. He's a threat to democracy. The left has done this. All right? It is no mistake that this is what's happening. This is the outcome. All right? Again, you're over the target. Listen to this. I've got some more highlighted points. Trump's immediate incriminations against Democrats represent a marked departure from his reaction after a gunman opened fire in July at his rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, injuring the former president and two others and killing an attendee. With a nation stunned and a campaign all but paused, Trump was described by allies as softened and reflective as he calls for the country to come together. Yeah, now, again, they're trying to make him into a demonization figure. Even the fact that he got shot at and there's 2 attempted assassinations, he's still the baddie. But don't worry, it's not the rhetoric. It's not the Democrat rhetoric or the media. Okay, listen to this. Now, after a possible second assassination attempt, Trump appears fully committed to chastening his political opponents. After a few messages urging unity and peace, the former president moved to blaming his rival, Vice President Kamala Harris, and his former foe, President Joe Biden, for inspiring the alleged shooter, Ryan Ruth, through a motive in the incident remains unclear. It's obvious. The FBI and the Secret Service said this was a planned assassination. It's not hard. They're trying to soften that. It's not hard. Quote, "He believed the rhetoric of Biden and Harris, and he acted on it," Trump said in an interview Monday with Fox News Digital. "Their rhetoric is causing me to be shot at when I am the one who is going to save the country, and they are the ones that are destroying the country, both from inside and out." That's incredibly powerful. Hence, the 3 different media organizations having to get in front of this. If they put out a short list on their Twitter feed and on their X profile or their Truth Social, and they release it into the media of hard facts over several years of leading Democrats demonizing Trump, and then he's had 2 assassination attempts, that is damning. That does not bode well for their campaign efforts because they are clearly complicit. All right, it's not their fault, but they're not toning it down. Let's continue. The big difference between conservatives and liberals is that no one has tried to kill Kamala Harris in the last couple of months. Extremely powerful point. And 2 people now have tried to kill Donald Trump in the last couple of months. I'd say that's pretty strong evidence that the left needs to tone down the rhetoric and needs to cut this crap out, Vance said. Somebody is going to get hurt by it. Well, somebody has already been hurt by it. 1 guy already died, 2 people were shot. Well, 3 people were shot if you include Trump. The point here is this is not politicization by the right. This is literally calling out something that is objectively true. The left has to put political spin on it and make it all about Trump's mean rhetoric in response to the rhetoric. All right, let's keep going because this is a really important piece. The Harris campaign has not responded to Republicans' claims. See, that's weird right there. Why not? Why haven't they said, you know what, absolutely correct, we need to tone down the rhetoric? Or, no, we would never intend that, we need to tone down the rhetoric. They haven't responded. What's that tell you? It's an effective attack. The media is carrying the water for the Harris campaign, so the lefties aren't going to get pissed off at the Harris campaign for saying tone down the rhetoric, but the media is turning it against Trump. See how this is all working? This entire thing is a trial balloon that has been floated by 3 different organizations, all in the media, all aligned to the Democrats, and on the same day. Not a coincidence. Let's continue, though. But in the hours after the incident, the vice president praised law enforcement and condemned political violence. It's a message Democrats across the party have largely echoed, even as some note Trump has long used inflammatory language and false claims to energize his base, and has in recent days threatened to prosecute and imprison adversaries whom he perceives as engaging in unscrupulous behavior in the election. Yeah, unscrupulous behavior. What he's talking about is all the lawfare and all the manipulation of the deep state. That's what he's talking about. But you can't say that. You got to say unscrupulous behavior. The big point here is, I think that's the last piece. Yeah. I want to go back to the very thing that we opened up. Trump called for unity after the first assassination attempt. Not this time. 9/17, right there. I've got it highlighted. 9/17. Let's go over here to CNN. Updated 8 a.m. 9/17. Trump pivots from second apparent assassination attempt to more incendiary claims. ABC. Oh, excuse me. That's September 16th. That was September 16th, the evening of. Trump says Biden-Harris rhetoric to blame for Florida assassination attempt. The main thing that I want to drive home from this video, guys, is understand that the media does not do things in unison unless they have a very direct and specific reason. You see it with gun control pushes. You see it with all these different pieces. They always disseminate it out against all of their media outlets in order to get the reaction from the population. That's exactly what they do every single time. And because this is an effective response, or an effective political response of sympathy and empathy for the guy who's been there's been an attempted assassination twice, they've got to turn it against him so that sympathy and empathy does not translate into polling numbers or voting, because then their whole myth is dispelled of Kamala Harris being the second coming of Obama. You have to understand what's happening right now. It's being politicized to the highest extremes and turning it against Trump instead of the reality of Trump's been the victim of it twice. That's important. That is pivotal. And I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.